For a long time, the border wall was just that, a wall. Then, artists on the Mexican side decided to make it a window into our cross-border culture. They painted colorful, vibrant murals, a blood-red heart with love written on it, a depiction of President Joe Biden making out with Donald Trump, and powerful tributes to deported veterans. Maria Teresa Fernandez is a photographer who chronicled this transformation for 25 years.
Since I started, I started kind of feeling that object, the wall, was alive. I saw during all this time that it was changing, it was growing in length and in height. It was reproducing from 1 to 2 and in other places to 3 walls.
Then came 2023. That's when the US government tore down the old wall so it could build a bigger one. And the window was shattered. Or so we thought.
We knew the Mexico side, the community on the Mexico side had invested so much love and care and energy and creativity in this site. We wanted to make sure that some of that was preserved.
That's John Fanistil. He's an activist with the group Friends of Friendship Park. And he couldn't bear to see those murals lost forever. So he called Micah Parson, CEO of the Museum of Us, with one simple question.
Would you consider having the museum try to obtain these sections of the wall before they get destroyed? And we absolutely jumped at the opportunity.
The museum spent 8 months acquiring 20 pieces of the old border wall. It was a long and complicated process that involved multiple conversations with Customs and Border Protection and the private contractor hired to dismantle the wall. Those 20 pieces are now safe in an undisclosed warehouse in the South Bay. If you look close enough and at just the right angle, you can see migrants crossing the border. And each section has small details hidden in plain sight, like tiny hearts and butterflies, even handprints. You can even tell which sections of the wall were closest to the ocean by looking at how the salty air corroded the metal beams. Fernandez, the photographer, is overjoyed to see the murals survive.
They mean a lot. They mean a lot for the history of that area.
Parsons says the history won't be locked up in a museum.
They don't belong to us. They really belong to the community. And it's the community that should come together to decide how this sort of wealth gets redistributed back into our trinational region.
Museums have a history of taking things that don't belong to them. Parsons sees this project as part of an ongoing effort to correct the mistakes of the past.
We have caused inestimable harm to indigenous communities, to other communities of color, by taking their belongings, by taking their ancestors and refusing to give them back for decades. And we've really, over the last several years, turned that corner and realized they don't belong to us as an institution. They belong back into the community.
Fanistil says that Friends of Friendship Park, the Museum of Us, and other community stakeholders will spend the next year figuring out where and how to display these unique artifacts.
Perhaps there will be sites in the public, either on either side of the border, where one or more of these sections of wall might be displayed. Perhaps there might be a traveling site with a section or two of the wall able to visit different locations. We don't know. These are all possibilities.
They envision a truly genuine tri-national effort involving people from San Diego, Tijuana, and Kumeyaay Nation. Brandon Linton is a cultural consultant and member of the Kumeyaay.
Before there was a U.S.-Mexico, there was us, the Kumeyaay people. And so we originally inhabited the area from generally down around the Ensenada area up to Capistrano area.
And Friendship Park is right in the middle of that area.
So the U.S.-Mexico border, from its conception, split our homeland virtually in half.
Linton says the border wall has had a devastating impact on the Kumeyaay people. It has separated them for generations.
I think that this project is a great way to bring attention to that and bring some light to those issues of people that need to move back and forth across that border.
A way to reopen the window. Gustavo Solis, KPBS News.